fielding questions for the last several days on this latest attack coming out of Washington, D.C., that is meant to undermine the very premise of the Second Amendment. Aaron, what is going on with S.3589?
Yeah, it's getting a lot of attention right now on social media, which is a good thing. Some call it the militia bill. Some call it the FU bill. There's lots of different ways to describe this. But in a nutshell, this bill would end any training with AR-15s or similar firearms in groups of 3 or more. And they literally are making it a crime, a felony crime, for you to take 3 of your friends out to the range and go and practice with an AR-15 or similar firearm. And you might say that's impossible. I don't possibly believe that. Well, guys, we have the screenshots here in this video. We're going to show it to you right now. We're going to begin here on the first page. Again, this is S.3589. I believe, Alex, it has no co-sponsors yet. It's a brand new threat.
Brand new bill.
Yeah, brand new bill in D.C. It's just beginning to pick up steam right now. And what's amazing right off the bat is the title right here, Preventing Private Paramilitary Activity in 2024. So this is what all tyrants have done throughout history, right? They see anybody who disagrees with them politically, who happens to have a firearm, to be a threat that needs to be extinguished. And so now the label is you're engaged in paramilitary activity if you're shooting an AR-15 or similar firearm with 3 or more of your friends. So right off the bat, just realize that we're in a different era now. You know, we're in a different era where our federal government looks at gun owners as active threats that need to be dealt with. It's not just like, well, you shouldn't have this, you shouldn't have that. They've dispensed with all the small ball stuff, and their goal here is to absolutely disarm every single one of us. In the meantime, they're very content to say you simply cannot train with your firearm. This is the heart and soul of the bill right here on page 2. Again, this is S.3589. I have the key sections in red. It makes it a crime to, as you can see right there, to drill or engage in techniques capable of causing bodily injury or death. I don't know about you, Alex. You shoot a lot. You shoot a lot of ARs.
Uh-huh.
I don't shoot an AR unless I'm trying to get better at using it.
Exactly.
The whole idea that somehow using your AR to get better at defending yourself, well, that's the whole freaking point. And so they make that literally the crime. If you're training with your firearm, drilling, you're a criminal. Section 5 down below, any training to engage in activity described above. So again, any efforts to publicly, that says patrol, drill, or engage in techniques capable of causing bodily injury or death. Again, that's what firearms are for. It's to stop criminals. It's to stop tyrants. They're not squirt guns.
Exactly.
And so this bill makes you a criminal for using this firearm in a practice situation. Let's keep on going here. You're also a criminal if you travel across, as you can see towards the bottom, if you travel across state lines or national border to receive training. This is particularly insulting as Americans because, unfortunately, 12 states have now passed an assault weapons ban. Heavy sarcasm intended. So if you're a gun owner in New York State, it's very common to go to Pennsylvania to get training. If you're a gun owner in Illinois, you come across the river into Missouri. If you're in D.C., God help you, you come down to North Carolina. You can't even Virginia is almost off the map these days. It's very common for gun owners to go across state lines to get training. Alex, in fact, wouldn't you make the case that it's the definition of us trying to be responsible to receive advanced training, which a lot of times means going out of state lines?
Exactly. And we got to go back to that point, guys. Don't miss this, okay? That they are trying in every way they can to ban AR-15s. $1,000 tax on AR-15s if your state won't ban it. They're universal background checks, everything they can to take away the guns. And God help you, if you find a way to continue to have a gun in a whatever loophole they have left, now they want to come after us for the training even out of the states that have made it a criminal activity to own those very guns. So yes, I travel across state lines all the time to take training courses with other instructors to get better at it. And so please understand, this The mentality switch in DC is just completely ramped up to the highest level. And this is an attack like you couldn't have imagined 15 years ago.
Exactly. And again, it's baffling that they're literally punishing people who want to be more safe with their firearm. That's the whole point here. It's absolutely absurd. Last screenshot here. I'm sorry. The bottom of this one talks about using any firearm that has crossed state lines. That's pretty much almost all firearms. And finally, any firearm that uses large capacity ammunition feeding devices. So basically all your ARs, all similar firearms, all guns that use more than 10 rounds of ammunition. It's a full-on purge. If you want to grab your side-by-side, ivory inlaid hunting shotgun, you can be Merrick Garland's guest. But for everything serious, it's a crime. And Alex, what's unique here, I wouldn't say it's never been seen before, but what really caught my eye is the penalty section in here. And of course, there's jail time. There's felony versions and misdemeanor versions and enhanced penalty versions. What's really damn dangerous, though, is the other penalties they've stuck into this bill. Here's a screenshot from the last page of the bill. You can see right here, the Attorney General, it's Merrick Garland, can bring civil action for preventative relief. And if you see down there on line 2, for someone who is or is about to engage in this prohibited activity. So what does that mean? A civil sanctions means that Merrick Garland can drag you into court and try to get protective orders and civil judgments, aka money, from you in advance because you were thinking about engaging in this prohibited activity. So, just to be clear on this, that means you're broke, you're bankrupt, you're done, because they will literally be able to use the power of the DOJ, the budget of the entire United States of America against you, against me, against any gun owner personally, to say you were about to go across state lines and shoot an AR-15. We're going to take you down. And so you're done. You're done. And what's so damn insidious about this is that there's not the same burden of proof. And in criminal court, it's beyond a reasonable doubt, and you can request a jury trial and you have a lot more options. When it comes to a civil judgment, it is the preponderance of the evidence. That means it is more likely than not that you were about to do X. That means basically if they can show a 51% likelihood, you're screwed. You're screwed. And so here it is again. Who is or is about to engage in these actions, they can take you into a civil court for judgment. And then down there on section B, it says any person injured as a result of this section may bring civil actions. Now, at first blush, that seems pretty reasonable. If someone gets hurt, by your firearm, well, you're going to face the price, and that's not wrong. But that's not what this means. Because they're saying that any person injured by you training, that doesn't these days just mean physical harm anymore. So they could literally say that a person was emotionally damaged when they drove by your farm and they saw 4 guys out in the back with ARs doing drills. That person could claim they're emotionally damaged now. You harmed them just by being a toxic what's that?
Toxic masculinity. Exactly.
I mean, and this is not an exaggeration anymore. It might have been, 5 years ago, but today, 2024, there is no limit to what they can say about you and how your presence harmed them. So guys, this is a nasty, nasty, nasty bill. And again, it really shows the mentality of where our government is right now. It is an absolute disaster. I think it's really important. Alex, we saw 2 years ago now, we saw the Republican Party in DC betray us wholesale. It was 14 Republican senators.
15.
How many?
Oh, I'm sorry. 14 Republican senators. And
it was 14. That backed Biden's federal gun control bill. We had somewhere around 8 to 12 in the House. Actually, it was less members in the House, I believe, than the Senate. So there's no scenario anymore we can trust politicians based on party affiliation. I mean, Alex, we both came out of Iowa originally, and we watched in disgust as Joni Ernst just a year ago military vet, gun lady, she says.
Exactly.
Her, when she ran for office the first time, she was doing videos of her with her leather jacket, shooting her handgun, votes for Biden's gun control. So I think it's a difficult thing these days for people to maybe internalize it. We cannot sit back and just trust that party affiliation means jack crap anymore. Everyone needs to be involved in this immediately.
Exactly. Something else, and it just dawned on me now as we're going over this. I think it was back to your first picture. I'm going to pull that back up as well. But didn't it crossing a national border? Did you catch that as well? Like, even if we tried to leave this country to go and train somewhere else, if we went out for a competition, if you're invited to the World Shoot, does that mean all of our Olympic athletes are going to go to jail when they come back to America? If they go and, go to another country? This is, like you said, the mentality of the radical left is so deranged against gun owners, as they are the threat to a tyrant, that they are thinking on these levels. And that's how dangerous this is.
I mean, this is a rabbit trail, Alex, but you mentioned going across national borders. A couple of years ago, and everyone can Google this for yourself. A couple of years ago, it became a national news story when the state of Minnesota was literally having suitcases full of cash be shipped out of the airport at MSP over to Yemen, to Syria, to Iran, to Iraq, all of these countries, directly funding terror camps. It's all over national news. It's no secret.
Yep.
And it was state monies given to certain population centers in Minnesota that then literally put that crap in a suitcase and they flew across the globe to fund our nation's enemies. So that was never a problem.
Training. Yeah.
It may have been an optics problem, but it wasn't a real problem for the left. But boy, if you drive across the river from Illinois into Missouri, or if you come down from New York into Pennsylvania, or from California over into Nevada, by God, you need to be put away for a lifetime or civilly fined. Yeah, civilly fined into oblivion. Guys, we couldn't help but laugh about this. They would very much be putting our own founding fathers, got a photograph right here. I mean, this is what they want to avoid. They want to avoid American citizens training to defend themselves. This is the history of our country, and they know that. And as all good tyrants, they're desperate now to get out ahead of this, to make it a crime for us to own guns, or in this case, to even train with the guns we've got. It makes me laugh, Alex, and think about, not laugh, it makes me disgusted. And I think about that line on the movie Braveheart, and William Wallace's friend says, they won't let us train with swords, so we train with rocks. Well, guys, we should not let that happen here in this country. And the good news is that we've already got 25 to 30 million of these AR-15s in circulation. The genie is long out of the bottle. I think every day that goes by, another gobs more are sold into the American population. That's a great thing. Keep it up. Buy more of these. Train with them. And again, though, in the meantime, take political action as well. Too many gun people, I think, Alex, sometimes they spend money on guns, which is great, ammo, which is great, training, which is great, but they forget about the fact that we have got to defend these freedoms in our state legislatures and in Congress, because our freedoms are only ever a generation away from extinction, especially these days. And when it comes to our Second Amendment freedoms. So guys, there's a link beneath or above this broadcast. And frankly, it doesn't matter what state you live in. If you're in a red state right now, your Republicans are feeling pressure to betray you on gun rights, and they have to hear from you right away. If you're in a blue state, they're mostly all commies. They like to vote for this. However, it is an election year, and there are a lot of Democrats, we're being told on Capitol Hill right now from our sources, who are getting kind of concerned that Biden's harebrained agenda on guns may cost them dearly. In fact, there's a scenario where they actually lose the Senate in November. And so the more pressure we can put on Democrats in blue states, they're not ever going to change their mind and become pro-gun. Alex, you're in Georgia. You're not going to get Raphael Warnock or John Ashoff to, and that was an intentional slip of the tongue. You're not going to get them to vote pro-gun, but we don't have to get them to vote pro-gun. Our goal here is to remind them this may cost them their majority. And if we do that, guys, we win. So hit the link, take action. Again, it doesn't matter what state you're watching this in, and then share our broadcast, guys, on social media. People have got to know what's going on right now in Washington, D.C. That's why we produce these videos. Help us get the word out, guys. If you can donate. Either way, Get involved in this fight, share our content, and we'll keep you guys informed. Stay free.